So here I go. Oh, Jesus. I almost lost my camera. What is up, guys? So I decided I'm going to finally do this video. I have to stick through this video. I can't even tell you how many times I've recorded this video and I stop in the middle of it. I give up because it's so long. Just giving you guys all the details and just to get you to understand what it is like to give birth. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna sit through this video and I'm just gonna get this shit done because I'm tired of talking about it. It's been a really requested video and it's been something that a lot of people want me to post and a lot of people want to know what it was like. So on September 6th, I had really bad cramps. I was 7 days over my due date, so of course I was going to be very uncomfortable, very agitated, irritated, everything under the sun that's negative. I couldn't sleep at all, and I honestly did think like it was just because I was huge. Here's a picture. Yeah, that's how freaking big I was. I couldn't sleep on my back because it would stop oxygen getting to Everly. It would also just cause a lot of issues for me. It was very uncomfortable. I couldn't sleep on my side, even though that was the best way for you to sleep. There was no way I was sleeping on my side. It literally was so painful. And you know what? I literally think I sat like straight up, just sleeping that way. I woke up like every 2-3 hours. I was really irritated that I wasn't getting sleep, and at one point I just gave up. It felt very close to menstrual cramps, like very close to period cramps. Mind you, my period was really painful before birth. I actually haven't gotten my period yet since I gave birth, so
I'm a lucky girl, I know.
So I haven't felt those cramps in a while, and I was like, wow, okay.
That's different.
So I told my mom, I woke her up at like 5 in the morning, and I was like, I don't know, there's something wrong. I don't know if it's because I'm uncomfortable and I'm overdue or if this is labor. And she asked me if I wanted to go to the hospital, but I said I don't want to go and waste my time if they just are going to send me back home. And I was like, I'll just deal with it, because if it's a real serious issue, like if I really get into pain, I'll go. It was tolerable. Like, even though I was really uncomfortable, like what really could have the hospital done for me? I can't take pain medication. So I stayed home. I tried to eat. My mom told me I should eat before, if we have to go to the hospital. I tried eating Honey Nut Cheerios. Oh man, that was the most painful bowl of cereal I've ever had. Like, just eating didn't even sound good. I was so hungry, but I just couldn't eat. Even drinking water was like annoying because I was just like, there's nothing is helping, and I didn't have any sleep, so I was really tired. It just wasn't fun. Okay, it's like 7 a.m. Mom and I are watching this TV show we had just started, and I was trying to watch it and trying to focus, but all I could focus on was the pain. And I was like, oh my god, these cramps are the freaking worst. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go upstairs and try and sleep it off. And I laid on my bed, and I wasn't even upstairs for 10 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes, and my water broke. Oh my god. This is one of those TMI moments I'm warning everyone about. My mom told me when your water breaks, it won't be like in the movies, like how it breaks and it's just a big thing of water. It was everywhere. Like, my bed was
soaked,
and my clothes
soaked,
everything
soaked.
Like, my water was just gushing out. Nobody told me that when your water breaks, it literally doesn't stop. Like, I was so swollen. Here's another picture. That doesn't give you an idea of how swollen and how much water I had in me. I was looking at videos that I posted while I was pregnant, and did you guys see my nose? Like, my nose was like out here.
So anyways,
I'm having a panic attack, freaking out. I scream for my mom downstairs. I'm like, Mom, my water just broke. And my mom's jumping for joy, screaming like, yay, the baby's coming today. And she's getting so excited. And my little sisters are screaming
like, oh my god, what's going on?
My dad is downstairs playing a video game. Like, there is just so much going on. I'm like trying to grab my hospital bag. I'm thinking that I'm not prepared for this baby. And I was like, oh my god, I'm going into labor. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to push a baby out. Oh my god, there's just so much going on right now. We get into the car, and as soon as my water broke, that's when the contractions started, and they were so
strong.
They were coming like once every minute and a half, I believe. My mom was timing in the car. She was driving. She was trying to drive as fast as she could, but also as safe as she could, because, like, you know, I was pregnant and also the law. We get to the hospital at like 8:30 and I am like crying my eyes out. The hospital I delivered at, I had a really bad experience. Personally, I wasn't really happy with my experience, except for the doctor and the nurse who delivered my child. All the other nurses and everyone else who worked there was super rude. And also my mom pulled up to the valet like place where they're supposed to have workers with wheelchairs and everything for women in labor or people who physically can't walk themselves if they hurt themselves. No one was down there. Like, I feel like there should have been at least 1 or 2 people at the front desk. So
Anyway,
I go into labor and delivery area. I write everything in. I felt like I didn't know what to say. Like, I was crying and they're like, oh, what's going on, sweetie? I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm in labor. They put me into this room to do like the basic checkup to see like my blood pressure, my heart rate, see if I'm actually in labor, what's going on. That room had no ventilation. It was so hot in there. And like, then there was so many people in that room and the contractions weren't that bad yet. I was just not a happy camper in that room. They kept trying to tell me that I needed to control my breathing. Trust me, I understand I did need to control my breathing. I was having an anxiety attack while I was in labor because I was just freaking out by like everything they were saying to me. And then also I started freaking out because the doctor
I've been seeing my entire pregnancy
was out of town and off the weekend I was in labor, but he did not tell me he was going to be out of town if my water broke. Like, he didn't give me a heads up. And I feel like that's something you kind of need to tell someone. I ended up like getting really, really lucky with the doctor who did deliver Everly because he was amazing. He made me freak out because they told me that I'm going to have a C-section most likely. I would have had a C-section if I absolutely needed to, if it was going to save my baby's life and it was going to save my life. It really did make my anxiety worse because I was thinking, holy crap, I am gonna be under surgery plus contractions. It was so hard to deal with. I really have been trying to think of an example of something to compare contractions to, but there's nothing to compare. Contractions are just contractions. They finally moved me to my delivery room and they tell me that I'm gonna get my epidural. They basically told me that I have scoliosis, a very small case of scoliosis. When he had me bend my back over and hold the pillow, so they had the pillow like this, and where the epidural has to go, I have a curve in my spine. The epidural had a chance of not working. It was 50-50, and he told me that. He told me my odds of it working and me not feeling anything from it. Hi, baby. Everly's awake. Say hi. So anyways, I did the epidural obviously anyways because I wanted to see if it would work. It didn't work and nobody was believing me when I told them that I could still feel everything. The nurse put a catheter in me when I could feel everything. If you don't know what a catheter is something they put in you so that you don't pee while you're giving birth. It basically attaches to your uterus or your whatever. They kept saying, oh no, you can't feel anything, and I could still feel everything. I just wasn't freaking out as much because I was freaking out more about the nurse putting the catheter in me, and I literally told her not to do it, and she
still did it.
And she was very rough with me. Like, I know I was pregnant and I know I was in labor and I know that like has a lot to do with how irritated I was possibly. But she like threw me around and put the catheter in me, and I was like, I could feel everything you're doing. You can't wait until the anesthesiologist comes back and fixes like whatever else you guys can do for me. So they had to give me fentanyl. I felt so relaxed, but the only thing that was bad about fentanyl was the dead weight of everything on my body. I was so like numb everywhere. I honestly just had to keep waiting until I was more dilated. I kept dilating at least a centimeter and a half every hour and a half, and then by 2 o'clock the fentanyl started wearing off on my right side. I was able to feel things. I was able to like do things. So about 2 o'clock I got more fentanyl, and the whole time I was in labor I literally talked about food. I don't know, all my nurses told me that was the funniest thing they've ever seen because most women in labor don't talk about food, but I literally could not stop thinking about food. My nurses told me that if there wasn't a chance of me still going into a C-section that I would have been able to eat. You can't eat when you have a C-section because the medications and nothing will work on you, and it also makes you throw up. I basically just like had these little shaved ice is like
Crack when you're in labor.
but I had to keep it in a very small amount because of the risk of a C-section.
Yay.
I want to say like around 4 o'clock, my doctor came in to see if I was like stable enough to start pushing. And this little munchkin just did not want to leave. I was completely dilated, ready to push, but she just wasn't far enough down yet. She just wanted to hang out. So I am so lucky. I only pushed for 10 minutes. I did have help. Doctor had to vacuum her out, so she had a bit of a cone head when she was born. My doctor was literally so amazing. He let me try and get my anxiety under control. He let me go on the oxygen mask the whole time to like help my breathing, give her oxygen. I wanted to wait and try, and he let me do that, and that was awesome because a lot of doctors would have just done a C-section. I signed a little waiver saying that I can have an episiotomy. So an episiotomy is when you tear. Do they have the right to cut you so that it's easier to vacuum and everything? Mind you, I was so high still while pushing, like it literally didn't matter to me what they did. I wasn't feeling anything. That was also the bad part because I couldn't feel my legs, and I couldn't tell if I was pushing. I don't know how to explain it. I could feel that I was pushing, but I couldn't tell if I was pushing. Like I said earlier about how your water breaking doesn't just stop with like the water breaking part, it keeps going. Like she was coming out, there was water everywhere, there was blood everywhere. My doctor made a joke literally while he's sewing up everything down there. But anyways, he made a joke about how it was like Moses parting the Red Sea. As soon as Everly was out, there was just this huge gush of water. My body was retaining so much water. It was so disgusting. Like I said, TMI, okay guys? I know it's a lot of information, but what are you guys gonna expect? This is labor and delivery. It's about birthing this beautiful little child. Holding your baby for the first time and seeing your baby for the first time. Like I remember as soon as they pulled her out, she was bloody and everything. They laid her on me for 2 seconds. I had blood like all over my hands because I just wanted to touch her. Like someone I had been feeling like kick my stomach and kick everywhere. Like, dude, it was amazing. I can't even explain that feeling like that you get. And I would do it 1,000,000 times over for this face. Yes, I would. And yeah, what? I would do it even for a cranky baby. Like just going through labor was so gross. So many liquids everywhere coming out of my body. It's just disgusting. Something I learned though about labor is that like you can study every single type of warning sign, but everybody's body is different. It's all for the same end result, but everyone's body is so different. Like my mucus plug, I never lost it. And if I did, it was definitely at the hospital when I was like draining of all this water. And also, no matter how you plan for a birth, it literally will never go that way. For one, I never expected to be on the verge of a C-section so many times. I also didn't expect to go 8 days overdue. I thought I was going to go early, if anything, because of how huge I was. I didn't plan on having a completely new doctor. Like, there was just so many things I could not prepare for. I can't believe I actually did this whole video. Yay! So, this is my birthing video, my labor and delivery story. Thank you guys for watching this video. This was a little Everly cameo. She just entered the video last minute. Let's say bye. Let me grab the camera. Say bye.